Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum friends. I am Abdul Mutin Yunus representing Masters.com. Today we are going to discuss the important topic that is generations of computer. Before moving on towards our topic, I request many viewers kindly subscribe my channel and press the bell icon so that they can get easily my new latest uploaded videos. Now moving towards our topic. First of all, what is meant by generation? Generation in computer terminology is a change in technology a computer is being used. Initially, the generation term was used to distinguish between varying hardware technologies. But nowadays, generation includes both hardware and software, which together make up an entire computer system. There are 5 computer generations known till date. Inshallah, we will discuss each generation deeply. The first generation timeline was 1946 to 1959, and the second generation timeline was 1959 to 1965, and third generation timeline was 1965 to 1971. Fourth generation timeline was 1971 to 1980, and the fifth generation timeline is 1982 onwards. And now we are using the fifth generation computers. The computer of first generation used vacuum tubes as a basic components for memory and circuitry for CPU. CPU stands for Central Processing Unit. Each tubes, like electric bulbs, produce a lot of heat and the installations used to fuse frequently. Therefore, they were very expensive and only large organizations were able to afford it. In this generation, mainly batch processing operating systems were used. Punch cards, paper tape, and magnetic tape were used as input and output devices. The computer in this generation used machine code as the programming language. Now the main features of the first generation computer are vacuum tube technology, unreliable, supported machine language only, very costly, generated a lot of heat, slow input, output devices, huge size, need of AC, non-portable, consumed a lot of electricity. And its examples include UNIVAC, EDVAC, IBM 701, IBM 650 or IBM 650, you can say it. Now, the second generation computer. In this generation, transistors were used that were cheaper, consume less power, more compact in size, more reliable and faster than the first generation machines made of vacuum tubes. In this generation, magnetic cores were used as the primary memory and magnetic tape and magnetic disk as a secondary storage devices. In this generation, assembly language and high-level programming languages like Fortran, COBOL were used. The computer used batch processing and multi-programming operating systems. The main features of the second generation are use of transistors, reliable in comparison to first generation computers, smaller size as compared to the first generation computers, generated less heat as compared to the first generation computers, consume less electricity as compared to the first generation computers, faster than first generation computers, still very costly. And its same examples include IBM 1620, IBM 1794. Now, we are moving towards the third generation computers. The computers of third generation used integrated circuits that are ICs in place of transistors. A single IC has many transistors, resistors and capacitors along with the associated circuitry. The IC was invented by Jack Kilby. The development made computers smaller in size, reliable and efficient. In this generation, remote processing, time sharing, multi-programming operating systems were used. High-level languages Fortran 224, COBOL, Pascal, BASIC were used during this generation. Now, the main features of third generations are IC used, more reliable in comparison to previous two generations, smaller size, generated less heat, faster, less maintenance is required, costly, AC required, consumed less electricity, supported high level language. And its example include IBM 360 series, IBM 370 by 168, PDP personal data processor, and etc. Now the fourth generation computers. Computers of fourth generation used very large scale integrated, that is VLSI circuits. VLSI circuits having about 5000 transistors and other circuit elements with their associated circuit on a single chip made it possible to have a microcomputers of fourth generation. Fourth generation computers become very powerful, compact, reliable and affordable. As a result, it gave rise to personal computer revolution. In this generation, time sharing, real-time networks, distributed operating system were used. All the high-level languages like C, C++, database, etc. were used in this generation. The main features of the fourth generation are VLSI technology used, very cheap, portable, reliable, use of PCs, very small size, pipeline processing, no AC required, concept of internet was introduced, great developments in the field of networks, computer become easily available. Now there are some examples of fourth generation, that is DEC 10, STAR 1000, PDP 11 and etc. Now the fifth generation computers. In the fifth generation, VLSI technology became ULSI, ultra large scale integration technology, resulting in the production of microprocessor chips having 10 million electronic components. This generation is based on parallel processing hardware and AI, that is artificial intelligence software. AI is an emerging branch in computer science which interprets the means and method of making computer think like human beings. All the high-level language like C, C++, Java, and .NET etc. are used in this generation. And we can say that AI includes robotics, neural networks, game playing, and etc. And the main features of its generations are ULSI technology, development of true artificial intelligence, development of natural language processing, advancement in parallel processing, advancement in superconductor technology, more user-friendly interface with multimedia features, availability of very powerful and compact computers at cheaper rate. And its example include desktop, laptop, ultrabook, Chromebook, notebook, and etc. So this is a lecture, that is the 5 generations of computer that we discussed with you. If you have any query or if you want to give us any suggestion, you can comment us below. Inshallah, we will meet you in the next video with a new topic. And that's it. Khuda Hafiz.